Hi folks, I am Divok, and welcome to the hero preview for Sorla Khan. Have you decided that you want to take a no-nonsense approach to Artifact? You want to go straight for the jugular, be completely surgical about it, and kill the towers. Go straight for the throne for you Dota players out there. Then you need to prepare to use Sorla Khan when Artifact releases. Sorla Khan is in a Glody, specifically the leader of the new Red Mist Horde. While Axe did his absolute best to destroy the Red Mist Horde in his quest to become its leader, Sorla Khan rebuilt it from the ground and is now its new leader. While we don't know too much about her background, Dark Willow and Pangolier both seem to be very cautious about Sorla. Juggernaut calls for Axe to discuss what they should do about Sorla Khan, suggesting that she is an imminent threat that must be taken care of. Strangely enough though, she might have one ally. Pudge says in a voice line from Dota 2 that Sorla Khan may keep the skin so long as he may take the meat, seemingly meaning that they're going to be fighting against the same enemy. Your guess is as good as mine, but as far as we can tell from Sorla Khan's background, she's a very aggressive, very powerful leader of the new Red Mist Horde, and it seems as though she can do whatever she sets her mind to. Rebuilding the Red Mist Horde would have been no easy task, after Axe completely decimated the entire army. But now, she roams around with her incredible sieging capabilities, which we can only assume she has from all of the card abilities, which you'll get to see further on in this video. Sorla Khan is an 8 attack, 0 armor and 6 health black hero. Now, with 0 armor and just 6 health, these are some of the lowest defensive stats in the game, so she might seem pretty vulnerable, and you wouldn't be wrong in assuming that. She is incredibly vulnerable. However, with 8 attack, this also means that she'll be taking her opponent down with her, which seems to fit her lore. She's not going to let anyone take her down easily. And if they do, she's definitely taking them with her. There are virtually no opponents that we know of in Artifact so far that can survive that 8 attack hit. So in terms of raw total numbers, her stats are kind of low, but you really cannot ignore that 8 attack. She completely makes up for it just with that one stat. Sorla Khan's ability is Warmonger. Warmonger makes Sorla Khan deal +4 damage when attacking a tower. So, at the very beginning of the game, if Sorla Khan hits a tower directly, she's hitting it for a base of 12 damage before anything else is applied. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's over a fourth of the tower's HP, potentially on turn 1. This effect does, however, state tower specifically, kind of like Phantom Assassins states hero specifically, rather than just unit. So once you break through that first tower, you probably won't be able to use Warmonger against the Ancient. Sorla Khan seems like the type of character that will be focused on taking down 2 lanes, rather than just barreling down 1. Sorla Khan's general playstyle is going to be very aggressive. You're going to be wanting to hit those structures, so you want to either utilise board clear or movement with Sorla Khan to clear a path to the enemy tower. So, Sorla Khan deals at least 12 damage to a tower, every single hit, without using any cards on turn 1. This is absolutely amazing. This is so powerful, and it will definitely help get the ball rolling. So, with that ball rolling, you've just got to snowball with it. And in order to snowball, you're going to need to play the right cards at the right time. So later we'll go through some items, spells, and general playstyles you should be using throughout the game. Sorla Khan's premier spell is Assault Ladders. It's a 3 mana improvement that grants allies +2 damage when attacking a tower. Now, for those of you that don't yet know what an improvement is, when you use an improvement, it starts a continuous effect in the lane that you activated on. We don't know everything about improvements just yet, but they seem to act as their card dictates, or if not, they're just a permanent sort of constant ability. Kind of like the continuous abilities some of the characters have, like Sorla Khan. We have recently heard about Pugna being a counter to these improvements. Pugna's ability is Nether Blast, which every 2 turns destroys a random enemy improvement, but other than that, that's the only way we currently know to stop an improvement from happening. So, using Assault Ladders, on Sorla Khan this gives her +6 versus towers total. However, I wouldn't put too many eggs in one basket. I'd probably try and hold on to Assault Ladders, for once you get the first tower down pretty low, your opponent will start worrying about it, spend some more resources on it, then you can put an Assault Ladder in another lane, potentially where you've got a few creeps. They're now doing 4 damage each to towers. Say you've got 2 creeps there, that's 8 damage. 3 creeps, 12 damage. If you move Sorla Khan into that lane, well, 3 creeps and Sorla Khan all hitting a tower, that's 26 damage. Of course, the enemy will try and stop you, but you've already been hitting another tower with Sorla. So, try and combo this with things like Dimensional Portal to summon those 3 creeps, or even a Lycan who gives you an extra unit, and of course you've got Lycan as well. Any way to get more units on the board to make use of this +2 is just adding more value to the card. So, now I'm going to go through the stages of the game and what items, spells and playstyles you should be looking to utilise. Early on, as I mentioned before, you want to be focusing on tower damage. Sorla Khan is unbeatable early game in terms of her tower damage. You just need to make sure that she can get that clear hit and also stay alive. Obviously, she only has 6 health to defend herself with. So in terms of items, you want to focus on the defensive more than the offensive. If you get the option to buy a healing salve, you should probably pick one up. It does heal for 6, so you'll never get full effect off on Sorla Khan, but if she takes a couple of hits from creeps or some lower damage heroes, then topping up to full health can really be very effective because she does have that 8 attack to hit back. Equally, as with Luna before, leather armor is a great early defensive item to buy for Sorla Khan. Giving you armor is absolutely fantastic, and it really helps Sorla Khan deal with any creeps that are in her lane. Failing that, you can buy a Traveler's Cloak to just buff her health up. That really does wonders, especially alongside any healing salves you've got. In terms of spells, Trebuchet is a pretty good black spell, especially if you're going for a rush tower damage, as it just provides 2 damage against towers every turn. You can also utilise move spells like Cunning Plan. It does require you to be using a black-blue deck, but this means that even if the enemy spend a little bit of resources to try and block Sorla, you can completely thwart it with just 2 mana, and you get to draw a card afterwards. As we move into the mid game, 1 tower should start to be low, so you should be looking to refocus Sorla Khan in your second target lane. Remember, she doesn't get her +4 damage against the Ancient, so while you can just hone in on 1 lane, it's probably better to go for 2. Because of this, Blink Dagger is an amazing item for Sorla Khan in the mid game. It only costs 7 gold, and it will allow you to reposition her into a new lane should you want to. Along with this, and because you should start to see assault ladders come into play now, Shield of Basilius becomes a pretty good item, because it gives Sorla Khan and her allies either side of her extra armor, which of course means any threats coming at them, they'll be able to knock aside without a problem, and then get back to hitting that tower. Finally, in terms of items, I can't pass up Red Mist Maul. +5 siege damage is ridiculous. Of course, with Sorla Khan, you're only going to be one to hitting structures anyway, so +5 damage versus structures only is perfect for her. This brings her total with Assault Ladders, Warmonger, and Red Mist Maul up to 19 damage per hit. She can nearly 2-shot a tower. In terms of spells other than Assault Ladder, Coup de Grace, which is Phantom Assassin's premier spell, is pretty good to kill enemy blockers. It does cost 6 mana, so it's going to basically be your entire turn, but if you've got that big, beefy, pesky Sven in the way, just destroy him with Coup de Grace. Sorla Khan can deal crazy tower damage, but then, in the late game, everything deals crazy damage. So realistically, by the late game you want to have won by now. But if you haven't won, there are some things you can do to help you along the way. Apotheosis Blade, again I still don't know how to say that, condemns anything that survives Sorla's damage. Now while 8 damage is great early on, there are some really big health items towards the later parts of the game. So this, condemning anything that would usually survive, is perfect. It does cost 25 gold, but it gives Sorla Khan an extra +8 regular damage, bringing her total to 16, and another +4 siege damage. It does replace the Red Mist Maul, but you're only losing 1 siege damage, and you're gaining 8 regular damage, so it's a worthy trade. In terms of a health slot, Horn of the Alpha is a perfect item. Sorla Khan is always going to struggle with health, no matter how much you try and pile onto her. And to be fair, in the late game, she's probably not going to be all that useful. As I said before, everyone is now dealing crazy tower damage, so she's just a glorified creep at this stage. So stick a Horn of the Alpha on her, and make sure she summons that 14-0-14 Thunderhide pack for some more big swinging damage on your side. In terms of spells, I can only really think of one that would be perfect for you late game here. It's a spell called New Orders. It's a red spell, it's very low cost mana, so you might think, well Divok, why are you saying this is a late game card? The whole point of Sorla Khan is tower damage early on. So if you're in the late game, the likelihood is the enemy has maybe 1 tower down already, and 1 tower that's very low. So if you need that one last tower hit, but the enemy is blocking, try using New Orders against a tower. Now I will put a bit of a disclaimer in here. New Orders doesn't specifically say that you cannot target structures, so I'm kind of making an assumption, but it seems like it might work. And if not, you can simply redirect the people who are trying to attack Sorla away from her, so you can get that final tower hit in. As you might expect, there are some heroes that work better with Sorla Khan, and there are some heroes that can really be a pain for her. In terms of friends for Sorla Khan, you want to look at the hard-hitting red heroes to assist her in clearing out the enemy board. And once they've cleared out the enemy board, they also add high damage to towers. I'd personally recommend Sven and Legion Commander, as their abilities help them clear out many units at the same time. Phantom Assassin is also another good addition, because she can kill off those potential blockers. Hardly any hero can survive being one-shot from Phantom Assassin in the early game, so get her alongside Sorla Khan and take out the enemy defenders. However, in terms of enemies, Sorla Khan has far more enemies than friends, which, as you might expect from her lore, is pretty standard. However, her biggest enemy isn't Axe, it isn't Rix or Legion Commander, who are all enemies in her lore. No, it's Pogner. As I mentioned earlier, Pugna's ability can kill improvements, which means your assault ladders, which are buffing everything's damage against towers, they're going to be killed every other couple of turns. On top of that, Pugna's high stats, 6 attack, 0 armor, and 9 health, means that not only can Pugna survive being one-shot from Sorla Khan, but Pugna can one-shot Sorla Khan in return. So if you see a Pugna on the enemy side, get Sorla Khan out of there. In terms of other enemies that can one-shot Sorla Khan, you've got Phantom Assassin, Bristleback, Axe, and Legion. They're all pretty susceptible to her damage as well though, so they're not quite as big of a counter as Pugna. Crystal Maiden is another counter to Sorla Khan. As Frostbite, her premier spell is very cheap stall and can really stop you from being effective in getting that early game damage against towers. Lycan is the final enemy I would recommend to use against Sorla Khan because he can survive the 8 damage swing with 2 health still, and spawns a creep, which effectively means there are 2 blockers against Sorla Khan, meaning even cutting clan probably isn't going to help you there. So, with Sorla Khan on the board, you need to push relentlessly. Take no prisoners and play fast. Supply her with a means to cut a path through your enemies, so that she might lay waste to their structures. Sorla Khan is on the warpath. Will you dare stand in her way? Thank you for watching the hero preview for Sorla Khan. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to make sure you get reminded every time a video goes out. If you've enjoyed this video, why don't check out some more? Here's our most recent video. And here's a related video we think you might enjoy, so take a look. I've been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and I will see you next time.